Welcome to another live stream. Today's live stream is about if motherhood is stopping you. Do you feel like motherhood is keeping you from the goals that you set? If motherhood is getting in the way of you starting your business, this live stream is for you. And if this is your first time catching me live, welcome. My name is Jasmine Chanel. I'm a personal brand coach for mompreneurs, most well known for my Mom to Mogul program, where I've helped more than 350 women launch businesses, helped 14 of them become full-time entrepreneurs. And so I've had a lot of experience working with moms specifically around business, entrepreneurship, and career, but also my own experience. I am a mom of 3 and I have young children. And part of the reason that I started my business was because I wanted to be able to have more time, more freedom with my kids when they were, when I was raising them at home. So I was a stay-at-home mom for the last 5 years. And so I got a little bit of a break earlier this year, and it was much easier for me to focus on my business when I had less responsibilities as a mom. I was sharing custody with my soon-to-be ex-husband, and so the setup that we had was a lot different than what I'm experiencing right now. And so now that I have my kids full-time, all 3 of them, back home with me every day, which again, this is my life for the last 5 years. I was a stay-at-home mom, so I was used to them, and I homeschool. So I didn't get a break from my kids because they were with me 24/7. And now that they're back after having that 10-month break, it is heavy. When I tell y'all, even me as a skilled, expert in this area, and as someone who, like I said, started my business with my kids on my hip, one in my belly and one pulling on me, it is very heavy and it's very hard. And so for a lot of moms, you may feel like you're crazy as you set these big audacious goals, and you may feel like they're not happening fast enough, or you may feel like the distractions and the interruptions of your kids are constantly getting in the way of you trying to achieve these goals. And it's so hard. And what I realize is it's a lot of emotions tied into it. It's a lot of mom guilt that goes into starting a business, running a business while you have kids, especially if you're balancing it with your corporate job. And so I want to talk to y'all a little bit today about some of the things that I did to kind of overcome and adjust over this time. So if you're just joining, thank you for jumping on. Again, this is a very heavy topic for a lot of moms. And so how many moms here have a desire to start a business or currently have a business? Let me know in the chat. I'm not going to read it while I'm driving. I'm going to wait till I'm parked to read it. But if you have a business and you have kids and you felt like it's been hard for you, let me know by dropping an emoji in the chat to let me know that you have a business. And so I've been in business the last 8 years, full-time the last 6. And as I added more children, it got harder and harder and harder and harder. And I didn't realize how hard it was until I had that break and came back. And so again, it is the mental load of motherhood. And so the key to being able to find harmony, not balance, because balance is a myth. When it comes to motherhood, balance is not real. If you are trying to balance all of these things, especially if you have a day job and you also have a partner, it is going to be difficult to balance. What I focus on first, this is my first tip, throw balance out the window. What I focus on mainly is harmony, work-life harmony. There are going to be times in my life where the business is going to be taking a lot of my time and motherhood got to be put to the side a little bit. Not meaning I'm neglecting my duties as a mom, but it's not the highest priority. When I'm in a launch period, my kids know, hey, we're going to eat more takeout when mommy's launching, because I can't cook every day and launch the program and things that I'm trying to sell. Hey, when I had a partner, hey, if I'm in a launch period, ain't no date night this week or for the next 3 weeks while I'm launching this thing. And so that is the first tip that I would give for moms who you feel like if motherhood is getting in the way for you, for your goals. And this is not just business goals. Even, like I said, the last 10 months having, shared custody, it allowed me to work out more consistently. It allowed me to build a social life. It allowed me to go to more networking events. It allowed me to learn a new language. I didn't realize how much of my brain motherhood was taking up on a daily basis until I had a different, a shared custody. It looked totally different. When I was splitting my time with my kids, I had more time for me. And so by having more time for me, outpost of that was, the business started to flourish without much effort on my part. I made new friendships. I had more support. I was able to build my village more so by not having my kids with me 24/7. And I know that sounds crazy to say and to think about, but it makes a huge difference. And so I don't want you to feel like, if you're a mom, I don't want you to feel like you're alone. I don't want you to feel like you're crazy and like you feel like you should be able to do this. Even somebody who's been doing this for all of these years, I noticed the difference by, again, them not being with me 24/7. And so the key to this, the key that helped me get back on track. So the month of June, I didn't work out as much. I didn't play tennis, all of these things because my kids were back. Even the people I played tennis with, they're like, girl, we ain't seen you in a month and a half. The people down at the cycle bar, we haven't seen you. When are you coming to work out? It makes a huge difference. And so the key is to stop telling yourself stories about what motherhood really is. That is the first thing. Release yourself from the idea of it needing to be balanced. Release yourself from the idea of you needing to do this perfectly. Release yourself from mom guilt. You have to give yourself some space. It is really going to require you to reevaluate the stories that you're telling yourself about what it means to be a mom. And so the stories that I've been telling myself since my kids have been back were, I don't have enough time. I'll just wait till they go back to school. I'll get back to working on the business when school starts in August. I'll get back to working on the business, on the weekends that they're with their dad. I'll get back. I can't go live today because I didn't get dressed today because of the kids. And I found myself in the same cycle that I used to coach a lot of my clients through, is like believing that they are an excuse for me not to do these things. And it's like, girl, this is how you feed them. This is how you make your money. So you cannot use that as an excuse just now that they're back. You can't put off your business and put off your goals until your kids are grown. That's unfair to you, and it's unfair to them to have a mom who's not pursuing the things that she desires. And so I'm going to park real quick in this random parking lot so I can finish this live, and then I'm going to go get the kids. But I just wanted to talk about this because I know for people who are just starting in business, it can be very discouraging. If you're brand new to business, if you have an idea and you feel like you're putting a lot of time in and it's not working, it's because of the mental load of motherhood. Motherhood is heavier than many of us even realize, and it wasn't until I got a full break from it that I got to see how heavy it is and how it affects us. And so, like I said, I was telling myself those stories of, since the kids are home, I don't have enough time to do XYZ. I don't feel like it. That's been the main thing. It's like, I don't feel excited to come on here and talk and go live anymore. I don't feel excited to create content anymore. And it wasn't that they per se were getting in the way. It is the day-to-day exhaustion of cooking meals and figuring out what everybody's going to eat today and arguing with people about getting dressed and commuting back and forth to swim lessons 3 times a week, and the emotional load of managing the kids' emotions and all of these transitions, managing their different developmental stages. I have a soon-to-be preteen, and so that comes with its own things. And so we have to look at these stories that we're telling ourselves as we put our goals on the back burner, as we put our businesses on the back burner, simply because we have families. It is not fair to you. And so this is why mindset is a key. And I'm going to come back and read some of y'all comments. Thank y'all for joining. This is why mindset is a key component in building your business. It's not just about strategy. And these last 30 days of being back in the thicks of motherhood showed me, it brought me back to why I created the Mom to Mogul program. I created Mom to Mogul because when I was starting my business, I felt like I couldn't get my hands around it. I felt like I was all over the place. I felt like I never knew what to focus on. I was always doing a lot of busy work and spending a lot of hours, but not seeing results in my business. And it wasn't until I shifted my focus from just strategy and business and being productive to also focusing on the mindset components. And so when I teach this workshop, I have a workshop coming up on 7/20. I would love for y'all to be there. If anything I said today resonated with you, you want to be on that workshop on 7/20. But it's called New Year in July because I want to give you the opportunity to have a fresh start. To start your year over in July and give the next 5.5 months of this year the best that you can give it so your business has a chance to succeed. And so if you want access to this workshop, I am teaching it live. All you have to do is DM me the word New Year, and I will share more details about the workshop with you. But we're going to talk about mindset in that workshop, because it's not enough to just be productive. It's not enough to just have strategy. That was a struggle that I had the last 30 days of adjusting to, again, being a stay-at-home mom all over again, was I just kept trying to go sit down and force myself to work on the business, and it wasn't working. I kept sitting down to try to force myself to do content, and it wasn't working because I was getting interrupted. It wasn't working because I didn't have the mental capacity while balancing the mental load of motherhood to really give my business its all. And I had to go back to the things that I teach my clients. I had to go back to the Mom to Mogul framework. It's not about forcing yourself and pushing and waking up at 5 a.m. in the morning. All of those things are great, but when it comes to motherhood, those things are hard for us to implement. And so instead of focusing on working harder and doing more, I want you to focus on getting yourself to the mental state that is required to maintain your role as a mom while also working on the business, to give the business just enough love where it can give you some results back and some profits back, not just giving your business all this busy work that's not moving the needle in the business. And so mindset is key. And so mindset is what we focus on in the Mom to Mogul program. And that's what I'm going to teach in this workshop. We're going to talk about what stories you're telling yourself that are holding you back. We're going to talk about how do you focus on the mindset and not just the work ethic. So many people focus on work ethic and not the mindset. And then also we're going to talk about, like, when you look online, a lot of the advice that people are sharing online is much harder for moms to implement. We're already waking up at 5 a.m. Give me a different tip. We're already time blocking our days. Give me something else. We already got a notebook and a planner with 15 tabs in it. Give me something else. And the thing that you need is the mindset piece. The thing that you need is to learn how to eliminate limiting beliefs. The things that you need is to learn how to release perfectionism. The thing that you need to be more successful in your business is not another strategy or tactic. It is to take care of you, the person that is behind the business, who you are outside of yourself being a mom. And so when we meet in this New Year, New You workshop, it is a 2-hour workshop. It is very interactive. You're going to be able to ask me your questions on the spot. Like I said, I have been in business now for almost 10 years, been full-time the last 6 years. I've coached more than 350 women through this process. And this summer, I had to go back to my own process and coach myself. I had to eliminate perfectionism. I had to work through my procrastination and figure out why I'm procrastinating. I had to eliminate limiting beliefs and stories that are telling me that I can't balance this with my role as a mom. I had to work on giving myself self-compassion and working only on money generating activities in the business, not things that feel good to work on the business, but the things that move the needle. When you have very limited time, very limited focus as a mom, you have to focus on money generating activities, not things that look like the business is successful. And so most people don't know that it is your mindset that's keeping you stuck. It is your limiting beliefs that's keeping you stuck. It's not your work ethic. It's not your procrastination. It's not that you're lazy. It is like your your brain is full. Your brain is full of mom guilt. Your brain is full of activities for children. Your brain is full of meals that you're trying to cook. If you have a day job, your brain is full of all the projects that are going on at work. If you have a husband or a spouse, your brain is full of all the things that you need to make your marriage work. Your brain is full. And I want to teach you how to move some of the other clutter out of your brain. How do we move perfectionism out of the way? That's one less thing on your plate. How do we move comparison out of the way? That's one other thing off your plate. How do we move, mom guilt, perfectionism, comparison, all of those things that keep us from moving forward in our business? How do we move it out of the way? And then not only that, we're then going to talk about the tactics. But the part that's important to me, the thing that is most sustainable that you could go back to no matter what season or stage in your life you're in, is the mindset. And so even myself, as I was getting stuck the last 30 days trying to readjust to being a stay-at-home mom full time, I had to go back to the main things that I teach in the Moms to Mogul program: mindset, messaging, and methods. And so this workshop is a crash course. It is a crash course, a mini version of the Mom's Mogul program. I'm breaking down the exact strategies that I teach the ladies on how to, work on their mindset, how to put a message in place that allows them to sell by being their authentic selves, and how to have methods in place. And so we're going to talk through content. We're going to talk through processes. We're going to talk through all of those foundations you need as a business owner, because that is what you go back to when motherhood is crazy. You go back to these very simple framework when your job is crazy, when your spouse is driving you crazy. You go back to this very simple framework of taking care of yourself as the mom, and then the overflow of that is what you're able to give to your kids. The overflow of that is what you're able to give to your spouse. The overflow of that is what you're able to give to your business. You're not giving from a deficit. And so right now, many of us are often given from a deficit because we're hard on ourselves about not being able to work on the business. We're hard on ourselves because we feel like we should be more disciplined. We're hard on ourselves because we feel like we should have worked out more. And we're not giving ourselves compassion around that this is hard. Motherhood is exhausting. And like I said, it wasn't until I had a break and, a different setup and arrangement, custody arrangement, where I was able to see how much I was truly carrying on a day-to-day basis. And so if this is something that you're interested in learning, those mindset tactics, the messaging tactics, and the methods that are required to make running your business easy and manageable for you as a mom, I would love to invite you to join me July 20th, 11 a.m. Eastern, for the New Year, New You workshop. Again, we're talking all things mindset, messaging, methods, talking about your business. We're talking about content, but we're also doing it from a place of compassion for you, the individual, so that you don't feel that huge pressure on yourself as you're building your business. And so if that is something they're interested in, DM me the word New Year, and I will see y'all on 7/20. And I'll send you details about that workshop. Let me go back and read some of these comments. Yes, I want to have my own business so bad, but I have 4 kids, don't know where to start or how to handle it anymore. That's common, Taylor. I have a mom who has 5 kids, and she has been one of my most successful clients because she has a process in place. And so even if you have 4 kids, even if you're somebody who feels like you don't have a ton of time, come to the workshop and I'll break down exactly how you can fit this even with your very limited time. A lot of the moms who come to work with me, they're only spending about 3 to 5 hours a week on their business. And a lot of times that time is on their nights and weekends, or I'm teaching them very specific strategies. For example, I used to plan all of my content while I'm sitting in the carpool line at my son's school. That's a strategy that I teach my clients. Where are there pockets of time where you can do some work that gives you a bang for your buck, but doesn't stress you out. So you're feeling every second of your day. And so even if you have 4 kids, 5 kids, it doesn't matter. Somebody said currently have a corporate job and a business, 2 toddlers, 4 and 2. Especially those of y'all with toddlers, because we know toddlers are out here fighting us every day to keep them alive. I have 2 toddlers as well. It's crazy. And so you definitely need a process in place to be able to manage your emotions, regulate yourself, have your mindset solidified when you're dealing with toddlers and running a business. Let me see what other comments I saw up here. So true. I find myself not being able to be there all the time, and it makes me feel so bad. Yeah, we're going to talk through that. How do you overcome that mom guilt? Good. I relate to this so much. Thank you for saying it. So exhausted and guilty about not doing enough. Yeah, and guilt is a useless emotion. I learned that in therapy. Unless you're a murderer and you're out here killing people or you're out here scamming people, guilt is a useless emotion if you're not actually doing something malicious. So as a mom, taking time for yourself, you should not feel guilty for that if you're not neglecting your role as a mother. They need to see you healthy. They need to see you happy. They need to see you, taking care of yourself. Your kids need to see that. You are their model. One thing that I say to my clients all the time, and I don't remember where I heard this, but if you love your kids, don't break their mother. If you love your kids, don't break their mother. So that includes outside relationships. People should not be breaking you. That's how I was able to choose myself when I realized if you love your kids, don't break their mother. So that means people should not be breaking you, but also you should not be breaking yourself in an effort to, present this perfect picture of motherhood. If you love your kids, don't break their mother. And that means you have goals and ambitions that existed before you became a mom. You were an individual before you became their mom, before you became somebody's wife, before you became somebody's employee. you had things that God had put in you that he still wants to see exercised regardless of the roles that you play. And so if these are things that are resonating with y'all, join me July 20th for the workshop. DM me the word New Year and I will send you the link to grab your spot. I am definitely going to save this live, so if you know a mom who would benefit from the information shared here, please tag her in the comments of the replay. I will see y'all on the next live stream. Have a good rest of your afternoon.